Adin Ross is attacking my channel. He has recently filed several false claims on my content and has even gone as far as to brag about, quote, stealing $8,000 from me. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist.
The Internet Anarchist stated that they had had $8,000 taken from them by Adin Ross. That is patently false.
Oh yeah.
Hi guys, what is up? What is good? What is Gucci? It is your girl Paige Christie here, bringing you yet another video. Today we are going to be talking about the Internet Anarchist, a YouTuber, documentarian slash video essayer, as well as a company called Thornes Media, or their parent company, Aegis. Because a few days ago, there was pandemonium all across Twitter when Internet Anarchist called out Adin Ross and his team for copyright striking one of his videos. And I say his as if Internet Anarchist is a he, because I was unable to find any pronouns on their profile, and the only reaction to somebody asking what their pronouns were was sub and scribe. Honestly, I stan. However, on the 23rd of April 2023, my time, the Internet Anarchist posted the following tweet. I've just lost $8,000 from Adin Ross false claiming my video about the Penguin Zero versus Sneeko situation. F you, Adin Ross. The claim was received on my video, Sneeko's horrible response to Penguin Zero, where I used a clip of Adin Ross interviewing Sneeko. It was used under fair use grounds and a tiny part of my long video. The revenue from this video was almost life-changing money for me. It was one of my most successful videos, so it's a huge shame to have the fruits of my labor taken away from me all of a sudden, especially by someone who literally gets paid tens of millions to gamble in front of kids. Now, when I first saw this tweet, I honestly just took it at face value. Like, who wouldn't think that this is an awful, shitty situation to happen to a YouTuber? So I did what any other YouTuber colleague would do and reached out to the Internet Anarchist in private and basically said, counterclaim, Home Slice is not gonna sue. I'm a bitch who's been here before. To which he hearted my response. But what I will say is that there was so much noise on social media that I honestly wasn't expecting a response from them. However, a few people, as well as influencers, stepped forward to try and educate the Internet Anarchist about this situation, about what to do when you get a copyright claim on your channel. One person said, if it's fair use grounds, it should be reversible. To which the Internet Anarchist replied, once YouTube pays out, they can't just pay you back the money. The internet's most hilarious comedian ever, Def Noodles, said the following. Yeah, he's doing that to a bunch of people. A third-party company is doing all the claims. Really weird. To which the Internet Anarchist replied, yes, a party named Thornes Media affiliate. Same people involved in abusing the copyright system with speed clips. Okay, so just to give you some context here, there is another streamer who is called iShowSpeed who streams here on YouTube. And this content creator also had the company Thornes Media Limited take down and flag a bunch of different videos which caused a lot of sticky situations for individuals who were either reacting to Speed's content as well as commentators who, you know, wanted to commentate. And because of this, there were so many different individuals who were fighting against Thornes Media in escrow for quite some time. I don't hear of that happening with Speed's content so much anymore, but it just could be that it's old news and people aren't making a huge deal out of it, who knows. Content creator Jabroni said, dispute it. The money will get into escrow until this is settled. Escrow is a process in YouTube where essentially you have disputed a claim that has been made on your video and it gets held in a place called escrow where the monetization is still active, but the money doesn't go to either content creator or copyright claimant until the dispute has been settled. A person called Ben stated, can you counter it or sue? To which the Internet Anarchist replied, Adin could drain me in legal fees. His worth is like 1,000 times of me. Now this is where I started kind of raising my eyebrows because I thought to myself, it's only going to go into escrow. Like, the legal process really hasn't started until somebody gets a legal letter. And once again, I'm speaking from experience, girl. Another content creator called Dolan Dark stated he only gets the money from the moment the video is claimed. So if it had made 8K before the claim, you will still get to keep that. Though you should obviously still fight the claim anyway if it was fair use. Now, if you guys don't know what fair use is, it's called fair dealings over here in the UK, but basically it's the same law with the same practices and policies. Content creators can use other TV shows, literature, YouTube videos, Instagram stories, or anything that has been posted to the public domain, as long as they make that content transformative. Now, what is transformative content? I hear you hark in the distance.
Courts usually focus on whether your use of another person's song or video is transformative. Basically, they're asking if you added new expression or meaning to the original work, or if it basically copies the original. For example, in the US, content that might be considered fair use includes commentary, criticism, or news reporting.
Well, transformative content is essentially anything that doesn't make the original content original. So for instance, if I was to get a video of Gabby Hanna screaming and crying about babies in the street, I could put it in as long as I'm commenting on it and providing extra additional context or even my own opinion.
God, I wish I could sleep. God, I wish I could sleep. I can't wait to sleep. God, please let me sleep. But I can't today, because there's babies dying on the fucking street. There's babies dying on the motherfucking street. You know, I saw a TikTok back when I was still using TikTok of babies on the street who adopted another baby on the street. 2 homeless babies adopting each other on the street, and they held hands all the way down the street. And he was speaking, and the mother said he's praying for him. The homeless baby praying for the other homeless baby. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up before we go to sleep. Wake the fuck up. There's babies on the street.
Yes, Gabby Hanna, there is dying babies on the street. But if you were a reaction channel, you could react to said content, and that would also make it transformative as long as it wasn't large portions of the video between each comment. Because by transforming that content, you have made that content an entirely new video. So when you hear content creators talk about fair use and fair dealings laws, they're essentially talking about the legalities of being able to protect their work by using something to transform the content into a new version of original content. Girl, I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, after this tweet went viral, Internet Anarchist then made the news. Various different news publications were talking about the story that this YouTuber had lost $8,000 due to Adin Ross. And once again, I'd just like to make a note of the dates. This article here by sportskeeda.com was posted on April 24th, 2023. And the Internet Anarchist posted about these articles on the 26th of April 2023. Yes, that's right, start jotting these dates down because they are important. On April 30th, Internet Anarchist posts another post to Twitter in which they said the following. Adin Ross celebrating his false claims on my content. YouTube needs to do something to stop people like this from opening and abusing the system to bully small creators. So let's take a look at the video.
W. Chat, by the way, this is Hassan's head moderator, chat. Put a W in the chat. We stole $8,000 from him. W. He needed that. Yes. 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 W. Yes. Yes.
And once again, I'd like to make a note that the date of this video going public on social media was on April 30th, 2023. Now, YouTube actually did directly reply to the Internet Anarchist about this situation. They said, checked on this and it looks like the claim has been closed by the content owner, meaning that the person, aka Thumb Media, Aegis, Adin Ross, if you will, who originally made the claim, then went and removed the claim themselves. and YouTube made this response on May 2nd, 2023. To which the Internet Anarchist posted, Adin Ross folded, thanks to everyone who helped raise awareness on this situation. From bragging about stealing 8K from me to quietly folding behind the scenes. These last few days have been a ride. Last few days. That's interesting. And once again, this was also posted on May 2nd, 2023. On the 3rd of May, when the situation had seemingly drawn to a close, the Internet Anarchist then posted to their YouTube channel a video titled, Adin Ross is attacking my channel, in which he speaks about all of the pandemonium that took place on social media surrounding his viral tweets about the situation between himself, Thumb Media, and Adin Ross. Now, once again, looking at the situation on face value, you wouldn't think anything was wrong. Adin Ross and his team were acting like complete assholes, got found out, and decided to sweep the breadcrumbs under the table before anyone would even notice. On May 4th, Internet Anarchist posted the following. He stated, reminded that last time Thumb Media literally struck my channel and deleted my video over a false claim. You are scumbags, abusing the broken system, and there are no excuses. We got the good ending this time, but we will not forget. And that's when I'd noticed that a company had responded, a company by the name of Aegis. They stated, I apologize that this happened, and since this time, I have combated it with our team to ensure that we will never let this happen again. I've fired 2 people over this. I would love to have a call and show you our platform and how we operate now so that you can vet and see if we took better measurements. So it didn't take a bitch 2 seconds to put 2 and 2 together to work out that Aegis is most likely the parent company of Thumb Media. So I clicked on their profile to see what they were talking about. So I then started seeing this same company showing photographs of what looks like their YouTube studio dashboard, basically showing that there are no disputes or claims in there for them to be able to rectify. And then I found this post. To clarify, no false claims were made. Automatic claims can't detect fair use videos, and you used Adin's clip and did not dispute it. You then tweeted on the 23rd talking about the claim that we released on the 23rd of April. Why was this left out of your video? This is unprofessional. We did not steal $8,000 of the video's earnings. A claim only earns from the day it is claimed, meaning that all past earnings stay with the uploader. Please educate yourself on how Content ID claims work at the Internet Anarchist. Also, attaching a screenshot of our dispute queue, which is currently empty. Now, this is where my side eye started going up because I didn't realize that the original video that Internet Anarchist was talking about, where he had the claim from, was over a month old. And when I went to the video was posted on the 1st of April 2023, meaning it's the beginning of a new month, meaning that the money had not been cleared. In fact, the money doesn't clear until the end of the month, which for April would have been the 30th. So if we were to believe that the Internet Anarchist was claimed on the 23rd of the month, if he had disputed that claim, then it would have instantaneously gone into escrow, meaning that nobody would own that content. Only not disputing said content would mean that the video wouldn't be in escrow, which according to
Internet Anarchist
was exactly what happened.
I was able to work with YouTube to reclaim my money and take back what Adin was attempting to and celebrating stealing from me. The money turned out to be held in an escrow, which I was able to fight legally to have returned.
The Content ID had made a claim against this video in which Internet Anarchist could have disputed, but they're stating that he didn't, and they have proof. In this screenshot on the screen that I'm showing to you right now, I don't know whether you can see at the bottom, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. It states on the 22nd of April, the claim was created by Thumb Media, and that on the 23rd of April, the claim was closed by Thumb Media, meaning that all of the other tweets, the talking about the situation, the over embellishments, and not correcting people that he had actually received his money, because he was still talking about this on like the 2nd of May. At that point, his AdSense for the previous month would have been totaled up and he should have been able to see it. I should think. Meaning that a lot of this hoo-ha that was taking place on social media was completely unnecessary because the claim had been solved within 24 hours. So then I had a look around and I was like, why is nobody talking about this? The only two prominent content creators that I saw actively speaking about this subsequent change in situation was POBOX and Tipster. So I reached out to Tipster to ask him, like, hey, do you know any more information on this? To which he informed me that he had spoken to the CEO of Aegis and that he's open to talking to anyone. And you know, this bitch snapped that opportunity up. So I sat down a few days ago and had a conversation with the CEO of Aegis. Now, unfortunately, the CEO of Aegis was showing me their back-end software and how it is that they work through their content claims so that I had an understanding of it. So for obvious reasons, I couldn't record our conversation, but I will relay the information it is that they told me. Number one is the copyright claim that was a copyright takedown notice that was made on Internet Anarchist's I Show Speed video from back in November was a manual claim. His company may or may not have been instructed to do that. May or may not. Some claimants, not saying I Show Speed, but some claimants also choose for their content to be claimed on the basis of their physical identity. The CEO has been running this business for over 3 years and has only just around now started getting more prominent content creators and influencers. In order to deal with the new added amount of stress of how many content claims are coming left, right, and center, because we've got to remember this is an automatic content ID system created by YouTube that cannot detect fair use. He has now since hired people to be working around the clock to deal with these claims continuously. He has outsourced that work. They have never got into any legal disputes over fair use claims. When it comes to the hiring process and what it is that he expects of his staff, he states that he bends at the creator's will. So if you want something directly removed, they will do their best to remove it within the parameters that they can do so. Internet Anarchist's video on Adin Ross that got content ID'd actually showed up on their system of having over 35% of their original content, hence why it flagged up on their system. Now, it's important to note that because as you can see from the screenshot it is that they've sent me from their back end, that's quite a large chunk of their original video. And that's because the Internet Anarchist's video on this was less than 10 minutes long. So if you've got a less than 10-minute video where approximately 3 minutes plus of that video is somebody else's content, that's a high portion of their content in your content, hence why it's going to flag up. YouTube's default settings for their content ID is actually only 15% of the original content creator's content. However, to prevent false ID claims coming in a lot, they have since bumped that up manually on their own back end at 30%. And again, the original video that was content claimed had over 35%, hence why it was flagged up on their system. The dude basically said to me, why would we want to make additional work for ourselves? And I mean, honestly, that somewhat makes sense. His in-house policy for his employees is 2 times of getting it wrong and then they are out. But at this point, it's what he's saying. He could be trying to make the situation better, so who knows? He states that the I Show Speed video caused him to have to fire some of his staff members over it, but it's very much, you know, shifting the bucket, shifting the blame, kind of the employee did it. That was the vibe that I got. Now, this is the part that I found very interesting. So I asked him if when a content ID comes, as in after it's gone through the checking process, which is a process where YouTube has a bot that will try and identify copyrighted content. So if a content ID happens after that fact, are they notified about that copyright content ID? Or does YouTube automatically apply it to the content creator? Does it have to be reviewed by them? And they stated, every content ID must be reviewed before limitations. But he says that became a big problem for him because how do you manage such huge content creators? As in, it becomes impossible for a content creator such as iShowSpeed, whose content has been shared across platform all around the world. Some of it fair use, some of it not. How do you rectify the situation? Well, he states the only way to be able to make this process as smooth as possible is to counterclaim. Now, I respect this guy a lot for having this conversation with me, and I will be extremely grateful for having the opportunity to speak to you directly, but I gotta keep it at 100. Those claims need to be manually checked every single time. It should not be on the content creator to dispute their own original content that you falsely claimed. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care how much content you believe was taken. That fundamental practice has to change, because then it looks to all of us and to the world as if you are abusing the system. And as much as I think that this company is trying to do something cool, in which I'll discuss a little bit later, if this doesn't change, you're always going to knock heads with YouTubers for the rest of your time. And I think what this person is wanting is to develop a better relationship with content creators and the community at large. We'll discuss it a little bit later. They stated that he prefers disputes rather than manual scrutiny, and that YouTube built this system. I understand the system is there, but it isn't there for you to like find a sticky or sneaky way to achieve more revenue. Because to content creators such as myself, that's what it looks like. For instance, I have a current copyright ID claim on my channel presently. For us content creators, we get a message on our dashboard that we have to keep an eye on every single day. And sometimes, if YouTube is nice to us, they might even give us an email. Okay, so here's my channel. As you can see here, I have a copyright claim from the 15th of April that I haven't dealt with. So if I go into my view options for that copyright claim, it shows me that this was a content ID claim. So let's take a look at when the video was posted so that we can get a better idea of how long since the original post date was it until I had a copyright claim from Collab All Deaf Daniel Rue -DRM. So as you can see here, the video was titled "Dear Fat People, Taylor Swift is not fatphobic." I'm pretty sure I posted that video several months ago, but just to show you what the copyright process looks like from my end, I can see it directly on my dashboard, and when I open it up, it'll show me exactly where it is, who the company is who have copyrighted, and what section of my video was copyrighted. Also note that it states here that it is a content ID claim, and as you can see here, it is no longer eligible for monetization. I have only two options, which is to trim out the segment of my video or to dispute it. I'm going to dispute it. It asks me various different questions. If my video falls under any of these, it doesn't, so I move on. And then I go over to a little section here that says copyright exemptions such as fair use. And that's where I tend to click. It gives me more information about fair use, making sure that I am clear before I continue. I say, I believe it still falls under fair use, let me continue. And then I'll select my type of reuse. I'll take it over to commentary. Then I will say, so I don't tend to put a lot of information in there. You could put the legal rules of fair use in there if you wish, but at this point there's really no reason for me to put anything else, so that's what I'm going to leave for that. I'll put my video does not infringe on copyright. I understand, and I will give my signature here, which is P Nicholson, which is my legal name, which I can't spell. And then I will submit it, and that's my information gone out to this company. As you can see now, immediately after I have submitted my response to this video's monetization is now in escrow, meaning that any money within this month is either going to go to me after it's disputed, or it's going to go to the copyright holder once it is disputed. But what I will say is that this can be a long, lengthy, and tedious process for a lot of companies who abuse this system, because they can take up to 30 days to choose, meaning that regardless of whether the video is in escrow and nobody's making that revenue, you're still not going to have the opportunity to see that revenue until the following month. And that's the part of the system that I think is extremely broken. So as you can see from my back end, it's pretty simple process to go through, but it shouldn't be that way. Like, it shouldn't be that way. However, in order to alleviate the pressure of us having to do that formal process, Aegis also on their website and their application program, if you will, have a section where they have the claims manager, where a content creator can dispute a claim directly with the company. The CEO of Aegis also said that live streams don't have automatic copyright claims, which is clear because the iShowSpeed claim that came through for Internet Anarchist was done as a copyright takedown request. But he basically stated that he doesn't have a claim system in place for live streams purely because it would just simply bankrupt them. There are way too many claims that could be potentially made from one video, and that would require him hiring more staff, etc., etc. So it just doesn't make sense. So live streams don't have the content ID feature, however, videos do. So just to explain the content ID system, every single person who is creating content on YouTube has access to it. When you go into the YouTube Studio dashboard, you can have a look at all of the videos that have contained your content that YouTube have picked up. And as you can see, once again, what this guy was saying was correct, because 10% video matches have made their way into my matches for video removal. However, the content ID claim system is here for everybody. It's nothing new from YouTube. The only thing that's different is that this company have changed their settings to be much higher, as in you need a much higher quantity of your video to be using one of their content creators' content in order to be flagged. They have an in-house policy in which they will claim the video themselves, and then you have to go forth and make a counterclaim in order to have your video released. But what the CEO of Aegis said to me is that he wants more creators involved in the space. His ultimate goal for his platform is that he wants creators to be able to start sharing ad revenue with much larger companies. For instance, if I was to take a video where I discussed a TLC show who are notorious for taking down people's content, if TLC was on their books, then there would be an in-house discussion about percentage and revenue share, meaning that reactors and content creators such as myself, who would find it very difficult to fight the copyright of these much bigger companies, are able to do an adequate revenue share between themselves, meaning that everybody wins. And I think that's a great idea. But as long as they have the system of not even checking the videos and pressing forward on a dispute on that claim, I find it very difficult to think that content creators are ever going to want to be involved. And that's just my personal opinion. So where does this really leave us? Okay, so the truth of the matter is that a claim was made on the Internet Anarchist video by Thumb Media, who are Aegis. The parent company are Aegis. Thumb Video had the content ID go onto their channel because it was over 35% when their threshold is 30% of the Internet Anarchist's original video. Internet Anarchist did not dispute the claim. Aegis, who actually made the claim, took down the request of that claim within 24 hours. Subsequently, since that point, there have been numerous different posts on social media about this ongoing claim when the ongoing claim was no longer ongoing. Internet Anarchist did not update or inform their audience on Twitter that the situation was resolved until YouTube pointed out that the situation was resolved, meaning that this company for approximately a week was dealing with all of the backlash that came with this one specific claim. This, for me, seems like a pretty shitty thing to do. This doesn't absolve the company's in-house policies as being shit. It just means that this one situation was actually extremely unfair. Because if they took down the request and the video didn't have to be disputed nor go into escrow, then what more were we expecting from the company in this situation? And once again, I'd just like to make this extremely clear that the copyright claim was made by Thumb Media on the 22nd of April, and on the 23rd of April is when the Internet Anarchist had made his first complaint online, and on that same day the claim was revoked, or as YouTube said, cancelled by the claimant. So that means that onwards of the 23rd to the 2nd of May, we heard nothing but the Internet Anarchist going on about this ongoing issue that was no longer ongoing. In fact, it was solved, and it wasn't until YouTube had made that information public did we finally get closure on this situation. That means there was 9 days of not clarifying this information to the audience, the fans, or anybody who gave a crap. Which, whether you like Aegis or Thumb Media's business practices or not, is just objectively wrong to do. Internet Anarchist should have been more forthcoming with this information to his audience, and not just that, I have a hard time believing that he didn't know this information, considering he was making so much noise on social media about this situation. I don't know, the math ain't mathing. Now, whilst I can't say that they were instructed by Speed to take down previous videos, what I can say is that the I Showed Speed video that was claimed of his back on the 11th of November was done manually, not by a content ID, meaning that somebody pinpointed that video and said, take that one down, which is an entirely different situation. But as he said, his employees are requested to bend at the creator's will. So take that as you will. In terms of my thoughts on Aegis, whilst I think it's great what they are trying to achieve, it's never going to happen. Not if the relationship between this company and creators doesn't get better. If certain types of creators are able to utilize this software, utilize this company, and make false claims on videos that upset or offend them, and hide behind the company and never face any repercussions, I think we can all then agree that what the company did on behalf of the creator is agreeably bad, if that even happened. But I also think that requiring people to dispute copyright claims, false copyright claims that are on their video, that YouTube requests that the company scrutinize, is also extremely bad. It puts the content creator in a very sticky situation. The system of YouTube is broken, but it doesn't mean that people should exploit it. But with that being said, I don't think that Internet Anarchist is like a terrible person or whatever. I just think that they're very new and very fresh to YouTube. A channel that's been around about a year probably doesn't even know all of the rules and all of the back-end stuff that really make YouTube the job that it is. With that being said, my only conclusion to this situation is that everybody's shit, and we need to be more transparent with everybody about everything. But how many times have I said that in a video? But I guess we all should have known that a content creator with the name Internet Anarchist would continue to revel in the anarchy of the internet. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, I don't give a shit anyway. Make sure that you subscribe as well as put those notifications on. I also want to say a massive thank you to my Twitch members, my members on YouTube, as well as the Patreon family. Thank you guys so much for holding me down. You guys always do, and I really appreciate it. With that being said, thank you guys so much for being patient with me, for making another video, because there's so much that's gone on in my real life that honestly, I wish I could tell you, but this video is already way too long. So with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day or evening, whatever the hell it is that you guys are doing. And until next time, you beautiful ass bitches. That's Paige. Bye.